than the thing produced has with its maker. For that which originates from a thing is the property of that from which it originates, as a tooth, or a hair, or any thing else is the property of its possessor. But that from which a thing originates is not the property of any one of the things which originate from it, or is so in a less degree. The love also of parents to their children is superior to that of children to their parents, by length of time. For parents love their children as soon as they are born, but children their parents in process of time, when they begin to understand or perceive that they are their parents. From these things, likewise, it is evident on what account mothers love their children more than fathers love them. Parents, indeed, therefore, love their children as themselves. For those that proceed from them are, as it were, their other selves, by being separated from them. But children love their parents as proceeding from them. Brothers, however, love each other in consequence of being born from the same parents. For sameness with their parents causes them to be the same with each other. Hence it is said, that they have the same blood, the same root, and such like expressions. They are, therefore, in a certain respect, one and the same in separate bodies. The being educated together also, and equality of age, greatly contribute to friendship. For according to the proverb, equal delights in equal age. And those who are accustomed to the same things are associates. Hence, also, fraternal friendship is assimilated to the friendship of associates. Cousins, likewise, and the remaining kindred become conjoined from the friendship of brothers, in consequence of mediately originating from the same persons. Some, however, become more united in friendship, and others less, in consequence of the source of their race being nearer or more remote. But the friendship of children towards their parents, and of men towards the gods, is as towards that which is good and transcendent. For parents and the gods confer the greatest benefits ; for they are the causes of existence, and of being nourished, and, when they are of a proper age, of being educated. A friendship, also, of this kind possesses the delectable and the useful in a greater degree than the friendship of strangers, because their life is in a greater degree more common. Those things, however, are to be found in fraternal friendship, which exist in the friendship of associates, and in a greater degree in those that are worthy, and in short in those that are similar, in proportion as they are more familiar, and love each other from their birth. And in proportion as those who are born from the same parents who are nourished together, and similarly educated, are more similar in their manners. In this friendship, likewise, the proof which is obtained from time is most abundant and most firm. And things pertaining to friendship subsist analogously in the remaining gradations of kindred. But the friendship between man and wife appears to be according to nature. For man is more a connubial than a political animal, and this, by how much more a family is prior to, and more necessary than a city. And the procreation of offspring is more common to all animals. In other animals, therefore, the communion proceeds thus far, i.e. as far as to the procreation of offspring. But men and women not only cohabit for the sake of begetting children, but also with a view to the necessaries and conveniences of life. For their employments are immediately divided, and those of the husband are different from those of the wife. Hence they assist each other, referring their own private possessions to the common good of the family. On account of these things, therefore, both the useful and the delectable appear to be contained in this friendship. It will also exist on account of virtue, if the husband and wife are worthy characters. For there is a virtue pertaining to each, and they will rejoice in a thing of this kind. Children, however, appear to be a bond, and hence those marriages that are without children are more swiftly dissolved. For children are a common good to both the husband and wife, and that which is common connects. To inquire also how a husband ought to live with his wife, and in short one friend with another, appears to be nothing else than to inquire how justice subsists between them. For it does not appear that there is the same justice between one friend and another, nor between one stranger, one associate and one disciple with another. CHAPTER 13. Since, therefore, there are three kinds of friendship, as was observed in the beginning, and according to each some are friends in equality, but others according to transcendency. For similarly good men are friends, and between worthy men who are not equally worthy, the more may be the friend of the less worthy, and in a similar manner with respect to friendships, which subsist on account of delight, and on account of utility, they may be equal or unequal, and different in the advantages with which they are attended. This being the case, it is requisite that those friends who are equal should be equalized in loving and other things pertaining to friendship, but that those who are unequal should render to themselves that which is analogous in transcendencies. Accusations, however, and complaints reasonably take place in that friendship alone, or principally, which is founded in utility. For those who are friends on account of virtue are readily disposed to benefit each other. For this is the peculiarity of virtue and friendship. But with those who contend with each other in kindness, there are no accusations, nor contests. For no one is indignant with him who loves and benefits him. But if he is grateful, he will recompense him by benefiting him in return. He, however, who transcends in the benefits which he confers, obtaining that which he desires, will not accuse his friend, for each aspires after good. Nor do accusations and complaints very much take place in the friendships which are founded in pleasure. For at one and the same time both obtain the objects of their desire, if they rejoice to live together. He, however, will appear to be ridiculous who accuses him by whom he is not delighted, when it is not possible to spend his time with him. But the friendship which is founded in utility is full of accusations and complaints. For since they make use of each other with a view to advantage, they are always in want of more, and fancy they have less than is proper, and blame their friends because they do not obtain as much as they are in want of, though they deserve to obtain it. But those who benefit are not able to supply as much as those who are benefited require. It appears, however, that as the just is twofold, for one kind is unwritten, but the other is legal, thus also with respect to the friendship which is founded in utility, one kind indeed is ethical, but the other is legal. Accusations, therefore, then especially take place, when compacts are formed and dissolved, not with a view to the same friendship, as that by which they are united. But the legal friendship, founded in utility, is that which subsists by compacts, one kind indeed being entirely venal, from hand to hand, viz. Such as takes place in buying and selling. But another kind is more liberal, in which one thing is to be given for another at a stated time, but from compact. In this friendship, however, that which is owing is manifest, and is not ambiguous, but a friendly delay is permitted to take place. Hence, with some of these, there are no judicial processes, but they think it is requisite to love those who form compacts, from the obligation of fidelity. But the ethical friendship does not consist in compacts, but what it gives as to a friend, and this is also the case with whatever is imparted by the one to the other. He, however, who gives, thinks it fit that he should receive in return an equivalent, or more than an equivalent, as if he had not given but lent. But if he does not receive the retribution which he expected from the contract, he accuses his friend. And this happens because all or most men wish to obtain things which are truly beautiful, but deliberately choose what is advantageous. But it is beautiful to benefit, not with a view to be benefited in return, and it is advantageous to be benefited. He, therefore, who is able, ought to make a retribution equivalent to the benefit he has received, and willingly, for a friend must not return kindness unwillingly. If, therefore, he has erred from the first, and has been benefited by an improper person, for he was not benefited by a friend, nor by one who did this for his sake, if this be the case, retribution must be made, as if he had been benefited by compact. Hence, he who has been benefited by such a one, ought to promise that he will make a retribution if he can.